right, yes. Hello, everybody. This is Ellis Paul. I'm in Crozet, Virginia. Welcome to the show tonight. We got a special guest. It's going to be Mr. Darryl Purpose on the Traveling Medicine Show. We're thrilled to have him. He's out there in Portland, Oregon. It's Ellis Paul's Traveling Medicine Show, Friday, September 3rd, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Share this on your Facebook pages and your whatnots. I had planned on doing some music here in just a minute. Let me just turn off my headphones and that'll do it. We will turn them off for now and play a little bit of music as we wait for the crowd to show up. We do this almost every show. Let's do it again. Boys of Summer. That's not Boys of Summer. We want it to be. There we go. Darryl will be with us around 8:30. In the meantime, let me know where you're from. Let me know that you're listening. Spread this out on your Facebook pages, and cheers to you all. We got a friend here in the background. We'll talk a little bit more about him in a minute. We got New Zealand in the house. Nice to see you, BSK. Amy Cronin is here from Massachusetts. Kathy Kalai is here. Nice to have you here as well. And Scarlett, I'm doing well, thank you. Grab a beverage, y'all. We'll be starting in about 5 minutes. Laura James is here from North Carolina. Hi, Laura. We're doing a new kind of bubbly water here. And Laurie MacAllister's up one flight of stairs from us. Here, there she is, eating pasta. Dennis Hammer is from Olaf, Kansas. Mark Easley is here from Raleigh. Karen up in New Jersey. Tom Harris, we will. He's from Oklahoma. We're going to be starting in about 2 or 3 minutes, as soon as the song ends. Deb McWethy, cheers to you. Up there in New Hampshire. Jamie Michaels from Santa Fe, New Mexico, fellow musician. Nice to have you here, brother. Thank you for tuning in. Lots to talk about. We'll get to that during the show. In the meantime, share the feed on your Facebook pages so we can have folks from farther abroad joining us. Hello, Pismo Beach in California. Candace Fons is with us there. In Chapel Hill, Marion Olson with Jeff is up in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Cheers, you guys. We'll be starting just a couple seconds. We are broadcasting from the beautiful little town of Crozet, Virginia, at the foot of the Blue Ridge Mountains. Rockport, Mass. in the house with Celine Leon and Vicky Engler and Teal. And I'm butchering everyone's names. I realize that. Bill Ely is here. Lakewood, Colorado. And Rob DeLong from Illinois. Cheers to you guys. We got Lynn Brazina over there on the Patreon side saying hello. Lynn, if you click on that little YouTube insignia on the video, we'll see you all in the same feed and you can visit other people as well. Colleen Markey is here in New Jersey. Asbury Park years ago, she saw me play. Karen Clark is from Petaluma, California. She's here. And Lainey Sporbert. Sunset was 20 minutes ago. It's getting dark out there, guys. Karen's here. That's our PayPal tip jar, and we'll be sharing Darryl's in a little bit. So good to have you all here. I'm excited to be playing with friends, visiting with Darryl Purpose, one of my favorite songwriters, and playing with the guy behind me, who's like a bobblehead in back there, and is our first overnight guest at our new place. We're thrilled about that. Cheers. Let's have a little bit of an intro, shall we? Everybody, this is Ellis Paul. I'm here in the beautiful little hamlet of Crozet, Virginia. I keep on forgetting that I've moved. I'm in the little four-corner town of Crozet, Virginia, and it is beautiful here. And this is my dear friend, Mr. Craig Akin.
Hello, everybody.
The stand-up bass player to the stars. He appears throughout the Storyteller Suitcase, and thrilled that he's here. He actually came down from Jersey City to do some shows with some friends, Susie and the Pistols here, and he's going to be doing some shows over the weekend, and we're thrilled that he's here.
I'm thrilled to be here too.
And I'm just going to tune this up before we start the show. Those of you just tuning in, please share it on your Facebook feed so we can get more people watching. This thing all lined up. Oh, that sounds really nice. Today's show features special guest, Mr. Darryl Purpose. He's one of my best friends, certainly one of the best songwriters I know. And get this, he's in the gambling, the Blackjack Hall of Fame. He's one of the world's best blackjack players. I guess if you're going to risk your life on folk music, you might as well risk it on gambling as well. It makes complete sense in an odd world that we live in right now, and tonight's theme is gambling with nature. We're going to have songs about nature, and I guess it's a stretch, but this kind of fits that bill as well.
Good catch.
Thank you. Come on there. We want it perfect for the kids at home. Officially tuned tonight because of this guy. The fog is up and the moon is rising, laying a blanket of white on the ocean for you. Are you living in the moment now? A two-lane highway in California, beautiful woman beside ya, scolding you. Are you living in the moment now? The world could use a hero, 'cause the lunatics are running the shop. I'll be your one-man army. I've got a stone and a slingshot. We could build a castle or a cabin on this very spot, with a view of the ocean and all the money we don't got. That we don't got. Yeah. money to God or to chaos theory? I'm asking you, are you living in the moment now? We could build a castle or a cabin on this fairy spot with a view of the ocean and all the money we don't got. The world could use a hero, 'cause the lunatics are running the shop. I'll be your one-man army. I've got a stone and a slingshot. Oh, a slingshot. Beside me, it colors the way I see beauty. We could build a castle or a cabin on a fairy spot with a view of the ocean and all the money we don't got. The world could use a hero, 'cause the lunatics are running the shop. I've got a one-man castle, got a stone and a slingshot. Oh, a slingshot, yeah! Weird outro here. That is Mr. Craig Akin, New Jersey's finest. Originally not from Jersey. Originally you're from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Am I right?
That is correct. Little known fact.
And a jazz guy. He plays bluegrass, jazz, and occasionally slums down to folk music with people like me. Oh, and
not enough.
We just get him drunk and he's happy. That's all we need to do, right? We see that your bride is here looking in, Abby Gardner, up there in Jersey City. There she is. A completely sober Craig Akin on bass tonight. Let's do another one.
Anything you want, sir.
We have Karen Cameron watching from Jackson, Texas over on the Patreon side. We got folks from all over the country, all over the world. Folks from New Zealand here tonight and Brazil. All to share in the Traveling Medicine Show. It's a Friday night show. Happens every Friday night at 8 p.m. all the way from Crozet, Virginia. Abby says, it's fun to be able to spy on you, Craig. We'll keep the cameras on him. We'll follow him with a camera so you can see what he's up to. We got Heather up in Sandy, Oregon. Thank you so much for tuning in. And Darla, of course, in, what is it, Moosehead, Saskatchewan, up in Canada. Chris Reynolds there in California, and Chris in Greensburg, Pennsylvania. Thank you guys for coming in tonight. I am playing the immortal Guinness. It is a guitar, according to Tom Harris, that I got in El Reno, Oklahoma, not too far from Tulsa, at the Oklahoma Vintage Guitar Shop. I fell in love with this thing, and a beautiful guy named Bobby there, the owner, gave me a break on the cost of it, and I'm happy to have this in my life. All right, let's try this. Here we go. No, Jesus never saved a soul. never walked on water except ice and snow. There's a rumor in the choir I'm just lucky as golly know. But ain't no Jesus never saved a soul. I ain't no Buddha, oh I struggle with wrong from right. I ain't no Prince of Peace, I've hit the floor in a good bar fight. I'll ask forgiveness come Sunday, 'cause I'm asking for trouble on Saturday night. But I ain't no Buddha, I struggle with the wrong from right. No, I can't walk on water, can't part the sea. Only miracle I've seen is you walking down the aisle to me. No, I can't talk to God, I ain't divine. Only miracle I've seen is I can call you mine. I ain't no carpenter, I'm more sailor than saint. I'll put a hammer on a Sunday, swear so loud they close heaven's gates. But I built you a four-post bed now, darling, don't make me wait. I ain't no carpenter, I'm more sailor than saint. No, I can't walk on water, can't part the sea. Only miracle I've seen is you walking down the aisle to me. No, I can't talk to God, I ain't divine. Only miracle I've seen is I can call you mine. Here we go. Savior ain't got the words. How do you preach to the masses when you can't even talk to the girl? You get a little courage from holy wine, but then your speech gets slipped. Well, I ain't no savior, I ain't got the words. No, I can't walk on water, can't part the sea. The only miracle I've seen is you walking down the aisle to me. No, I can't talk to God, I ain't divine. Only miracle I've seen is I can call you mine. The only miracle that I've seen is I can call you mine. Oh, mine. I can call you mine. Oh, mine. Oh, beautiful, Craig, beautiful. Look at that. Darlene even thinks so. She's in Kentucky, send love to us. Jenny Riegler loves it on bass as well. Dan Holtz is saying, this is getting a lot of compliments here. Moderate ego, and he's only got a moderate ego, says the upright bass is a beautiful compliment to the music.
Wow. Check's in the mail.
Yeah. How do you like that? Craig appeared on the Storyteller Suitcase. In fact, I kind of built the whole record around Craig's bass playing. I had him lay down the grooves, so I was somewhat in control of what the drummer's direction would be in. And he's so good at what he does, honestly. We're going to show him off a little bit on this one. This is a song called Election Day. Got ZZ over there in Portland watching us tonight. And I wanted to thank Susan Gore and the many folks that are putting the jingle in the jangle of the tip jar tonight. Thank you so much for that. You've been very generous. I'm just going to see if I can look back. Roberta Schwartz as well. Nice to have you here, Roberta. Lovely to see all these friends that we have here, the regulars on the show and these folks that are tuning in. Some maybe for the very first time. We love you for it. We're here every Friday night. I do additional shows on Wednesdays and Sundays, but this is the bigger show of the week, the one that we promote and the one that we spread the word on. And we're asking you folks to add this on your Facebook pages, and please like the page as well. Click all the things that you're supposed to click to make this a raging success. This song, it comes in handy. I've been put in this pretty tough place this week. I've got Texas shows next week. And Texas is in the news for various reasons. First, COVID is spiking there. And secondly, because of the abortion issue and them essentially rolling back Roe versus Wade and this $10,000 bounty that's attached to all of this. If you don't know the story, you haven't been reading the news, and I'll let you go and do a little research on it yourself. But I've got shows on Saturday and Sunday next week in Texas, and every time I put up a post about my going there to promote the shows because of COVID, I'm trying to over-promote, I get this virulent feedback from people to boycott Texas, because of this issue that's come up. And I'm not going to boycott the state of Texas because I have incredibly open-minded liberal fans that love me there, and I feel like that's punishing my relationship with them for no reason, and also a very loving relationship with the venues that I play, who are already hanging by a thread. So what I've decided to do is to go and play the shows. I'll give all of the proceeds to Planned Parenthood in Texas. So that's going to be next week, and that's what I'm going to do. I am going to go and play. And one of the shows on the Sunday night, next Sunday night, not this upcoming one, but the one after, is going to be broadcast as a live stream from the Club 024, I believe it's called, in Austin, Texas. So more on that soon. This song is called Election Day. If we want to fix things, the vote is our greatest way of doing it. So vote those, dirty word people out of office in Texas, all right? But I can feel a new day coming. Change is on the way. I can feel the wheels of progress humming. I'm just waiting on election day. I've tried to keep me quiet. Well, I've got things to say. I've got a voice that won't be silent. You're gonna hear it on election day. I'll be here on election day. You won't keep me away. I'll be walking proud, talking loud on election day. Well, you've been working in the shadows, getting rich so quietly. You've been making deals with all your friends. You forgot that you work for me. So just save that campaign promise. You never keep them anyway. You just talk the talk, you don't walk the walk. We're gonna fix it on election day. Well, I'll be here on election day. You won't keep me away. I'll be walking proud, talking loud on election day. Here we go, Craig, now. Party's over. It's time to polish up your resume. Maybe spend more time with your family. Starting on election day. Well, I'll be here on election day. You won't keep me away. I'll be walking proud, talking loud on election day. On election day. On election day.
Yeah. Cool.
Beautiful.
Oh, someone upstairs liked it.
Slamming away here. I've got all these people in the back stage area of the show tonight. I don't know exactly how they all got here, but there they are.
I live here.
Not you.
No.
I'm talking these other guests. I don't know. Somehow they found the link and they're here.
What? Really? Who? Oh, wow. Who are they?
Well, there's Sandy and Kate, and I mean they're happily hanging out back there. But
Do you know them?
I do not know them, but there they are, and I love it. We'll have to figure it out. Maybe we'll interview one of them. Sandy's got her cat, and she's a beautiful cat. She's hanging out with the cat there. Let's do one more, and then are you ready to go?
I don't know, but it depends. Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Hey, we're gonna bring Laurie in here to do a song, and I'm gonna just kind of play in the background and sing a little bit.
All right. That sounded so good, you guys. Yes. It really sounds amazing in this new room with there's no rugs. There's very little upholstered furniture, so it's like very resonant in this room. It's a new house, you guys know that, right? We just moved in. We closed, when did we close? 3 weeks ago, tonight. So let's turn the gain down just a tiny little bit. Just
On the vocal?
well, whatever this is.
Okay, gotcha.
Just a teeny bit, right? You turned it down? All right, perfect. Abby gave us some good advice. Just a teeny bit. So it's so nice to have Mr. Akin in the house, literally in the house. He's the best. He got us one of my favorite housewarming gifts that we've gotten so far. You guys see what this is? That's right. Drill bits. I have a drill, right? I have a drill.
Yes, you do.
But I've only ever used it for to use it as a power screwdriver because I'm not gonna do the screwdriver manually. But I never had the bits, and Craig just got us the bits, which means we're officially homeowners.
Start destroying the walls.
We can drill holes into things. Hi, everybody. Hi, Dana. Nice to see you. We're so glad to be here. All right, so when I found out that Darryl Purpose was going to be the special guest, I wondered if Ellis was going to do this song. He started singing it this afternoon, and I was unpacking boxes, which is what I do now. That's sort of my hobby. And so I was unpacking boxes, and then I, of course, started singing along because this was one of my very favorite songs as a kid. I'm a huge Kenny Rogers fan, so we're doing this for Kenny, who we lost last year, and I miss very much. I love him, and we're doing this for Darryl too. You guys will know this one. Right, Kate?
You got it.
Yeah. On a warm summer's evening, on a train bound for nowhere, I met up with a gambler and we were both too tired to sleep. We took turns at staring out the window at the darkness till boredom overtook us and he began to sleep. He said, "Son, I made a life out of reading people's faces and knowing what the cards were by the way they held their eyes. And if you don't mind me saying, I can see you're out of aces. And for a taste of your whiskey, I'll give you some advice." And so I handed him my bottle and he drank down my last swallow, and then he bummed a cigarette and asked me for a light. And the night got deathly quiet and his face lost all expression. Said, "If you're gonna play the game, boy, you gotta learn to play it right. You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, and know when to run. Yeah, you never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done." Now every gambler knows that the secret to surviving is knowing what to throw away and knowing what to keep. 'Cause every hand's a winner and every hand's a loser, and the best that you can hope for is to die in your sleep. And when he finished speaking, oh, he turned back towards the window. He crushed out his cigarette and he faded off to sleep. And somewhere in the darkness, the gambler, he broke even. And in his final words, I found an ace that I could keep. Yeah, you got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, and know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, and know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done.
Come on.
The Gambler, everybody. One of the best songs ever. Thank you. Thank you, Ellis. Every now and then when I feel like sitting in, I just tell him and he's like, "Sure, do a song." So, thank
Good
you.
to have somebody local.
Thank you. I'm extremely local.
Ready to go. At the drop of a dime. That was Laurie MacAllister of the band Red Molly and of LaurieMacAllister.com. You can check all of that out. She's also the flower person in the house.
I'm trying to give the flowers a better location, but I think this might be the best one.
How about you get some of that red wine at a better location?
We are here to celebrate songs of nature and gambling with one of the best gamblers and one of the best songwriters on the planet, in my estimation. I've been friends with Darryl. I've lived with Darryl Purpose in Boston. We lived together for, we'll have to talk about how long. I can't even remember. Maybe a year or two? It was a while, right, Darryl? He's shaking his head like, yes, that's what it was. So we are here tonight. Gambling with Nature is the name of the theme tonight with my special guest, Mr. Darryl Purpose. I'm just trying to get my headphones running here. They seem to be working great. Let's just make sure they're attached to the old audio. And they aren't, so we got to go over there. Just a second. We're almost there, folks. So I can talk to Darryl properly. System preferences. Sound. There's lots of action going on behind me there. There we go.
It's action that you'll approve of.
It sounds like it. I like the sound of it. All right, this is not going to work.
Here you go.
Oh, look at that. Cheers to you, folks. I'll bring Darryl in with these headphones since my earpods are not working properly. There we go. Hey, I want to thank, just really quickly, Tammy and Tom. Thank you for the love in the tip jar. Dan Tappan, thank you for the love in the tip jar. James Ely, Mr. Bill Ely, Susan Gore, Roberta Swartz, and more. Thank you guys for the love and support in the old tip jar tonight. Let's bring in Mr. Darryl Purpose and have him say hello. Hello, my friend.
How are you, Paul?
I'm doing great.
Well, I have a couple answers for you.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah. Apparently, people are showing up in the backstage, in the green room area of StreamYard. Mm-hmm. I have a feeling I know how that's happening.
Tell me.
I have a feeling I put that link on my Facebook page.
That's probably... We love that.
That's why you don't know those. You said all these people are coming into the green room, and if you get me the actual link, I'll fix that after I play a couple songs. I'll fix that and I'll change the link, or it doesn't matter. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't matter.
Yeah. You would have had to take the link from the long story. We'll figure it out. It's fine.
Yeah.
So how are you doing out there?
Hey, I'm okay. I'm okay. I got my shelves arranged. I got this wonderful office. I feel like I'm gonna make a lot of music in this office, and this is the first of it. And I'm really happy that you're having me. And
you're breaking in your whole house for us because you just moved to Portland, Oregon, right?
That's right. I think we bought a house at the same time. We didn't really trade any notes about that. We just did it.
Yeah,
it just happened. All of a sudden, we were moving in.
Yeah, there must have been a memo. There must have been some kind of memo on house buying that we both saw at the same time.
Did you know that Portland is now like, can get really hot here? Earlier this year, it was 117 degrees, 3 straight days. That's the hottest Las Vegas has ever been.
Yeah, that's amazing. That was a hot streak, right? That set all sorts of records.
Very hot. And so those were the first 5 days of moving in. We're kind of like that here. It's a little crazy.
So Darryl, you've been both a gambler and a songwriter in your adult life, and so I'm just wondering, like, what is it that you love about gambling, and what is it that you love about songwriting, and then what are the difficult? Give us a little run through of like what attracted you to gambling and blackjack in particular, maybe.
Well, my first experience with music was a keyboard. And it's very easy to see what's going on when you look at the keyboard. It's all black and white, it's all right there. All the notes, the scales, you can see it. And I liked math for that reason too. I felt like math, it all made sense to me. It was all kind of logical, and I didn't really understand, how I was being moved by those songs on AM radio and Simon and Garfunkel and Woody Guthrie way back then, but on top of the logic, I was moved by the music. Now the gambling, on the other hand, I would say one thing I've always liked about both gambling and music is I'm attracted to greatness. I like to hang out with people that are great at what they do, and so when I first went to Las Vegas when I was a teenager, I found the people who were great, and I began to work with them, and to this day I still work with some pretty, at that time I became one of those people, and now it's more like I get to play with those people, and then here I am with Ellis Paul, like I'm not, and I'm not kidding, I love what you do. I love what you do as a songwriter and as an artist, and it's good. When you invited me to come to New England, and I came out there and got to see what you did with your art and with your music, and it was inspirational for me. So I like to be near greatness. And
thank you for that.
And
You're very generous.
Well, it's just true.
Well, let's have you sing a couple songs for everybody so they get a sense of what a great storyteller you are, and then I'll come back and we'll chat a little bit more.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Cheers.
Ellis said we're going to do gambling with nature. That was our theme, and I thought, I think he means gambling and nature. So these first two songs will be my nature songs, and then I'll do a couple gambling songs later, because I think we'll go with gambling and nature. So this is a Dave Carter song. It's called "The Gentle Arms of Eden." On a sleepy, endless ocean, when the world lay in a dream, there was rhythm in the splash and roll, but not a voice to sing. So the moon fell on the breakers, and the morning warmed the waves, till a single cell did jump and hum, for joy as though to say, this is my home, this is my only home, this is the only sacred ground that I have ever known. Should I stray in the dark night alone, rock me, goddess, in the gentle arms of Eden. Then the day shone bright and rounder, till the one turned into two, and the two into 10,000 things, and old things into new. And then on some virgin beach had one lonesome critter crawled, and he looked about and shouted out his most astonished drawl, this is my home, this is my only home, this is the only sacred ground that I have ever known. Should I stray in the dark night alone, rock me, goddess, in the gentle arms of Eden. Then all the sky was buzzing, the ground was carpet green, and the weary children of the wood went dancing in between. And all the people on the land, and they da 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 da. Let me do that again. I'll just do that again, right? We're all with friends, right? And then all the sky was buzzing, the ground was carpet green, and the weary children of the woods went dancing in between. And the people sang rejoicing while the clouds was full of grain, this song of celebration from their cities on the plain. This is my home, this is my only home, this is the only sacred ground that I have ever known. Should I stray in the dark night alone, rock me, goddess, in the gentle arms of Eden. Now there's smoke across the harbor, there's factories on the shore, and the world is ill with greed and will, an enterprise of war. But I will lay my burdens on the cradle of your grace, in the shining beaches of your love, sea of your embrace. This is my home, this is my only home, this is the only sacred ground that I have ever known. Should I stray in the dark night alone, rock me, goddess, in the gentle arms of Eden. Rock me, goddess, in the gentle arms of Eden. Thank you very much. And the crowd goes wild. We can't hear him. Dave was from Portland.
Hey man, I wanted to share one comment with you.
Okay.
It's right there on the screen. It's from Sylvia Payne. What a fitting song for you to begin with, at least for me. I went to see you, Darryl, at a house concert in Terre Haute, Indiana, and you announced Dave's passing to the audience that night. It was my first time seeing you.
Wow.
Yeah, so a lot of memories there. I know he was a good friend of yours and an amazing songwriter, so it's nice to hear you do him. I'll let you go. I just thought you might want to see that.
Thanks for that. Yeah. And another nature song. I'd moved to Portland from Nederland, Colorado. Most of you know that. Maybe many of you know that. The story goes that I was a touring singer-songwriter, and I was making a living at it, but it was a hard living. And I moved to Colorado, and because I wanted to live in Colorado, and I moved away from where I should be, which was New England, where I could tour and support myself with the music. But I got a call from my friend Munchkin, and he asked me if I would be willing to be interviewed for a book he was writing. And then at the end of all that, he said, you want to go on a trip? And after 10 years of being a singer-songwriter and not gambling at all, I said yes. And he told me that, he told me a little secret, and I sit up in a Starbucks there in Colorado Springs, and I was just getting by as a singer-songwriter, but I got a computer, I set it up in the Starbucks, ordered me a soy latte, started playing, and I had 2 computers, and started playing, and more, and more. In a couple months, I won $1 million in that Starbucks. And I know that's not going to get me, that's not going to help my tips here. I know we got the tips on there, but I realized I could do anything, and what I wanted was a home. And so I moved into this house in Nederland, Colorado, because I could have a home anywhere at that point. And why not in your favorite place? Recommend that to everybody. Moved here, not Nederland, but your favorite place, sometime in your life. And we had a little gathering there at the housewarming thing. And we were looking out at the view. The view is the best view from a house that I've ever seen in my life. You're looking at the Continental Divide, these white-capped mountains, and it looked so far away. It looked so fantastic and magical and unattainable. And I was sitting there looking at these mountains with my neighbor, and he says, you can walk up there. And I was like, no way. And but I ended up walking up there quite a lot. It became my church. And about 14 years later, I finally wrote this song. You can walk up there, a water bottle and a couple of layers. You can walk up there, I'm just saying. Reach the top. I know you're afraid of failing. time. I'm just saying. You have exactly what you need. You can give it all away. There is exactly enough time to find the next best step to take. Walk up there, I'm just saying. You can make your way through darkness to black the candle. You can make your way, light a candle. You can bring it home. Let yourself be cast on. You can bring it home with the GPS on. Turn it on. You have exactly what you need. You can give it all away. There is exactly enough time to find the next best step to take. So you can walk up there. I'm just saying. You can save your life. Or you find yourself in no man's land. You can save your life. Take my hand. Take my hand. Take my hand. Love yourself. You have exactly what you need. You can give it all away. There is exactly enough time to find the next best step to take. So you can walk up there. I'm just saying. You can save your life. Take my hand. You can make your way. Light a candle. You can love yourself. Don't stop trying. You can walk up there. I'm just saying.
Hey, that's so beautiful. So beautiful, man.
Thank you.
Hey, just a couple messages that people want to share with you. This is Ariella, who I've played for there in Ashland. Darryl was always disappointed. I was always disappointed that I never got to produce a show with you in Ashland. Lots of wineries with music venues come down and do a concert now that you're closer.
Yay.
And she puts on a beautiful show there in Ashland, Oregon. And yeah, just a lot of friends here. Amy Morton says thank you both for helping keeping music alive and well. And I'm so happy that folks are listening from all over the country, coast to coast tonight, to take you and I and our little visit here into their homes. It's pretty amazing. Thank God that the internet happened before the pandemic happened.
Wow.
We're very, very lucky, right?
Isn't that true? Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you are literally the most interesting human being I know. You have the most incredible stories, not just of the gambling stories and the music and the touring stories, but your health issues that you've had to deal with and how you conquered them, and your family issues and how you conquered them.
You think I conquered them?
Well, you're conquering
Not
them.
all of them. Not all of them.
You seem to be on top of a lot of it, and it makes me proud of you.
Thank you.
On top of everything else, but I'd like to dive into some of these stories, if you don't mind, before you do a couple more songs.
Sure.
One of the stories I love is that you obviously traveled internationally to gamble, and you're a card counter, I guess. That's what you would do. Like, that's what you kind of define yourself as. Am I right?
Well, that's how I started, and I got very good at that, and then moved on to some other things. They call it advantage play now, more than card counting. Card counting still exists, but a lot of people have discovered other ways to beat a game. There's the talent pool is low for people working in a casino, so we can go into a casino and it's just all about randomness. The people that put on the games, they think they're random, and we can go look at a game and see something that's not random, that they think is random, and that's the trick. That's the trick. But anyway, card counting, yeah.
There was one interesting story that you told me, and because this sort of reveals the storyteller in you as a gambler, is that every card represents a character in your life, and then all of the face cards are people. And as the game is progressing, you see the Queen of Hearts comes up, and that's a person in your head. And then the Two of Clubs comes up, and that's like a verb or an action that Queen of Hearts takes. Tell me about that. Moonwalking with Einstein by Joshua Fuller.
He teaches memory in this, and there are certain things people always say must have a good memory, if you can count cards. And I'm like, no, actually, counting cards does not require a good memory. It requires that you're quick at simple math under pressure. But there's a few things we do that do require a good memory. So we have to memorize cards in order, and with the techniques that Joshua talks about in this book, you can go through a single deck of cards and then go back through it and predict every card, memorize 52 cards in a row. And really, it's the kind of thing that anybody could be taught how to do it. I don't think it takes a special... But yeah, that was a fun thing. So, if you're going to memorize 2 cards in a row, and let's see, the King of Clubs, that would be me playing guitar, so every card has a person and an action, and the Jack of Hearts would be Ellis Paul crossing the finish line, So if you wanted to remember the King of Clubs and the Jack of Hearts in order, you would remember Darryl crossing the finish line.
Right.
You've just remembered. It's one picture in your head, and you've just remembered 2 cards.
And it's interesting to me because you could write a story like that. If you laid out four or 5 cards, it would be Darryl playing a guitar while Ellis crosses the finish line, while Laurie pours the wine while Craig plays the bass, and the scene kind of evolves right in your mind as the game is progressing, and that helps you find out where you are within the deck and what the next play could be.
That's right.
That's amazing to me. So,
and memory is a lot about telling a story. So if you can learn to tell a story with what you want to remember, you can learn to tell a story. Like Laurie gives you 5 things you're supposed to pick up at the grocery store. You just tell a story to yourself about those 5 things, and that's how you remember them.
Fortunately, tonight she just wanted some kind of sausage for the pasta dish. So, if
did
it's
you remember?
I did.
Did you tell a story to yourself about sausage?
Yeah, I told a story of how she would kill me if I messed this up. That's the story, and that kept me in a straight line. Okay, this one thing, don't mess up this one thing. But to me, it's so funny because you are such a detailed storyteller. Like your images are crystalline clear to me when they fly by, and that's one of the things I love about writing. And the fact that you assemble stories while gambling at the same time, that's really very, very intriguing to me. But there are other ways, obviously, of counting, including using machines, right? Like there's a story that you told me of being stopped at customs at some country, some island or something, where you had a counting machine in your shoe.
Now they're on my bookshelf.
Oh my God! Tell us this story.
Well, This was the battery pack. They were lithium, battery packs. It just turns out a computer can count cards better than you can in your head.
Can you put that right in front of the camera so we can see the computer?
So we would go through. These were the days where you could go through TSA with something like this.
And not take off your shoes.
No problem. It would be no
Right.
problem. You can see a buzzer at the bottom that would give you information about how much you should bet and how you should play your hand. And
Oh my God! You mean like it buzzed you? It gave you a little electric shock of some kind, or
yeah, a buzz. It was bzz was 3 and zzz, a shorter one was 1. So bzz, zzz was 4. And so it told you all you want to know. And you can see like. We would just buy a normal pair of shoes, and then we would take a box cutter and open it up and build these shoes. And my friend Craig, these are his shoes. In fact, these aren't even my shoes. I don't know how I ended up with these, but
wow.
He one time we were in Las Vegas at the condo, and he was cutting with a box cutter, and you never cut this way. With a box cutter,
Right.
For obvious reasons, and
Yeah.
he slipped. He slipped, and he just with a box cutter,
Wow.
like this, and he wasn't bleeding too much. He hit a bone, he hit a bone, and he was like, can somebody? I don't know how this came down this way, but I know that it did. He's like, can somebody take me to the emergency room? And everybody was like, no, we're about to go on a play. No, we can't help you. And I think he took a taxi to the emergency
Wow.
room.
But the story you told me was that you were coming into some country. I think it was an island country, like the Bahamas or Bermuda or something, and customs caught you with the counter machines in your shoes, and they held you in custody there and kicked you out of the country. Is that the way I remember it, right?
Some of those details are correct.
Yeah. Fill me in.
They didn't like me so much for some reason. I'm not sure why, but
Did they ask you what was in the shoe?
well, they didn't get the shoes. Was the last thing they saw. They took apart everything. They first they found $40,000 cash. That made them suspicious right there.
Right. Yeah. I guess you need cash to bet at the table, so you bring $40,000 into the country.
And I was in my 20s, man. I have changed a lot since then. But I had to I saw some contraband, I think, while they were counting out my money. And then finally they came to these shoes, and they said, "What's this?" And I said, as if it was the most, this was like the 1980s. And they're like, "What's this?" And I was just like, "It's a computer. It's a computer." And they're like, "In your shoes?" Yeah, yeah. That's how you operate it. Yeah, you operate it with your shoes, with your feet. And anyway,
and did they connect that?
They never arrested me though. I really thought I would never see that money, but they said, "Don't go too far. We're going to look into this, and we'll call you." And
Wow.
So I didn't go to casinos. I rented a motorcycle and I drove around Aruba.
Aruba.
I drove
With
around
those two mountains on either side of the bay. It's so beautiful. I want to go there.
It's so beautiful, yeah.
If you give me $40,000, I'll join you in Aruba, and I'll put the computers in my shoes. I'll put my iPhone in my shoe.
We played so well with those computers that Las Vegas made it illegal. So we never played it. We have not used these, and it was only because I moved that I found these. I was unpacking all these boxes, so I found these, and I don't know. I put it on my shelf just because there's some good stories there.
It belongs.
Good memories.
Those shoes belong in the Blackjack Hall of Fame.
They actually do belong in the Blackjack Hall of Fame, and if they ask me, I don't know. I'd probably give it to them.
Let's hear a couple more songs. We'll come and talk to you in a minute.
All right.
Cheers.
And so this theme, gambling with nature. I did the nature part there, and I'm going to do the gambling part here, and part of the thing here with this song is that this will be the first time I've played it, so I'll be gambling a little bit. It'll be gambling a little bit to actually try to play it, but it'll be the first time. But this is an interesting. It comes from I was cleaning up some old hard drives of mine, and I found this folder, and it said lyrics. And I found these files in it, and it said Unix executable. I mean, it's from so long ago that I didn't even know how to open it. I think I'd called my friend Tom Unger, and he told me how I could open it. And I found some lyrics, and I found these lyrics to this song. And I just couldn't imagine who wrote this, because I didn't remember writing it, and yet I was the only one that could have written it. I was the only one who was a songwriter and also knew the language of casinos and card counting and advantage play of various kinds. So I gave it to Ryan Hommel, who's producing some tracks for me, and he put some music to it. And this is what we came up with, and I'm going to try it. It's a card counters go bad story. It's a Bonnie and Clyde card counters go bad story. Eddie and Jules, it's called. I'm going to try to play it right now. Now, Eddie was my buddy going up in L.A. Had a head for numbers in the worst way. When classes got slow, Eddie got bored. He made his way to Vegas and learned to play cards. Jules was from Iowa looking for some fun. Eddie saw her downtown playing 21. She really looked the part, but no basic strategy. Ballsy in a mini dress, big player fantasy. It was blackjack, think fast, soft 18. Eddie counted 6 decks and I bet at 19. Jules raised a finger, the boss would shake and cough. Eddie called the plays, Jules took the money off. Now Eddie spent the next year growing up a bit, scouting out the good games up and down the strip. He counted high up one with aces on the side, but playing on the square would never keep her satisfied. So they took to playing whole cards and dealer weaknesses. Know the house of 17, know what 18 is. He locked the lucky spot, the beginning of the shift. Jules came in separately and looked for Eddie's gift. It was blackjack, king fast, soft 18. Eddie had a way of seeing what shouldn't be seen. Jules took the marker and the club went soft. Eddie gave the sign and Jules took the money off. With a steady small edge, she was happy for a while, and increasingly aware of the magic in her smile. She met a clever dealer working graveyard shift downtown. Everyone agreed they will get out before the heat came down. It was blackjack, think fast, soft 18. The dealer on the crew, they were a money machine. Now Eddie mattered less in Jules' universe, 'cause Julie pulled a cold air right out of her purse. would like to tell you that they got away clean. That Eddie went back home and finished his degree. But Eddie's calls home stopped, and for the crooked path they took, there are two shadowed faces in Nevada's black book. It was Blackjack, think fast, something 18. Eddie counted 6 decks in a minute 19. Jules raised a finger, the boss was shaking cough. Eddie called the plays, Jules took the money off. Jules took the money off. Yeah, Eddie and Jules. We played with those guys early on when I was a teenager on the Ken Houston team. And then they disappeared. And it was years later that we heard these rumors. And these rumors of what happened to these two, where they went. And I never saw them again. But we heard the stories. So I got a friend that says, life is a gamble. Bet on it. So this is a gambling theme. And this song that I wrote with Robert Morgan Fisher, well, you know, Mr. Schwinn, you know, he gambled. He thought maybe that the woman that he was building these bikes for would come along. We kind of know how that ends. Not to spoil the ending, but it's called Mr. Schwinn. Mr. Schwinn was as thin as a pelican's grin, and I took him my bike when the wheel wouldn't spin, when the wheel wouldn't spin, or the gear wouldn't shift. For fixing a bike, the man had a gift. They were stashed in the back of his waterfront shack, his and her bikes perfectly matched, like a groom and a bride waiting to take their honeymoon ride. He'd say one of these bikes is more than a twin, as he pumped up the tires, polished the rim. I'm sailing in for my Mrs. Schwinn. Yes, the wires and the tires filled me with desire, and the sprockets and streamers were truly admired, by all kinds of folks who watched as he carefully tightened the spokes. Yes, the chrome really shone, but if the truth be known, at the end of the day, he went home alone. Yes, he went home alone by way of the pier, and he watched the tide turn and the sun disappear. He'd say one of these bikes is more than a twin, as he oiled the chain, polished the rim. I'm saving it for my Mrs. Schwinn. He'd say one of these bikes is more than a twin, as he tested the brakes, polished the rim. I say that it for my Mrs. Schwinn. Yesterday was the day that I heard someone say the old man at the bicycle shop passed away. Mr. Schwinn passed away, and my wife and I cried 'cause he never did take that honeymoon ride. 'Twas with grim discipline that the town buried him, and the gravestone revealed that his name wasn't Schwinn. No, his name wasn't Schwinn, but I'll tell you with pride, he gave me the groom and my wife the bride. Mr. Schwinn was as thin as a pelican's grin, and I took him my bike when the wheel wouldn't spin, when the wheel wouldn't spin, the gear wouldn't shift. For fixing a bike, the man had a gift.
I love that song. Really, one of my favorite Darryl Purpose songs.
Thank you very much.
Have you ever sent that to Schwinn?
I did.
Yeah. Did you hear back?
Yeah, I got a fan knew them and connected me with them, and I never thought about doing that because I didn't think it was a very wouldn't think it was a song they would really want associated with their product, really, right?
It's a sad.
It's a sad song.
Yeah.
It's not a celebration of anything. It's a sad song. So I did send it to this guy, and I got an email back. That it was just reflected how I felt about it. He said, "Darryl, what were you thinking? We would, what were you thinking about this song and us? How were you like?" What? And I was like, "Actually,
Yeah. It's a beautiful song, though, and like a real relationship song. Almost every couple I know has some token item in their life that connects the two of them. It's this one thing that they share, and that's so important. And by the way, Darryl, we were having some problems with your PayPal tip jar. So I'm going to throw you, everyone's going to tip it to me, and I'll pass it on to you. You know how that goes.
Sure.
Until it's about $40,000, and then I'll meet you in Aruba, and
excellent.
You'll have to break into my hotel room to get it.
All those stories were like in my 20s. I'm not like So I just want to be clear. Like all that quasi dangerous, illegal, risky stuff.
All that James Bondy.
It all ended. It all ended in my 30s. Yeah.
Well, there was that James Bondy kind of, I have a computer in my shoe, and I'm at customs in Aruba. It's sexy. It's a little crazy, but it's sexy.
Happened. It did happen. Yeah. And there was even more. There's more to. There's stuff I can't even say about it. But
the mystery is so deep and murky. I have another story. You're sitting at a restaurant, and a doctor comes up to you and he says, "I don't mean to alarm you, but I'm a doctor, and I specialize in a certain kind of tumor, cancer, and I believe based on what I'm seeing in you that you might have the illness that I specialize in."
Yeah, that happened. The way I like to tell this story is when I was 18, I was in college, and I was a guitar major, and my wrist, kind of gave out, and so they put a splint on it. So I practiced with the other hand, and then this wrist. So I was a guitar major. I was 18 years old. I was a guitar major with 2 splints on my hands, and I quit college, and I went off to Las Vegas and became a blackjack player. And 20 years later, I've decided to go back to music after all my blackjack stuff and make a career of it. And I'm in a park in eastern Washington, state of Washington, about to play in a gazebo for some memories I have that Kate McDonald was there that day. I mean, she was on the bill too. What else do I know about that day? Well, the guy comes up to me and he does say, the way he put it exactly was, I study a rare condition and you look like you have it. It's caused by a tumor in the geographical center of the head, so you really should get it looked into. Yeah, and then I went up and did my set, which is a lot like today, because you know what happened today? Well, I'll tell you later. But not a lot like today, no. But yeah, so I went up and did my set, and I made some calls. And a couple months, another part of this story that was pretty incredible. A couple months later, I got a call from my old friend Val, who we had shared. We had been roommates in a house on the beach in Orange County in our early 20s. And he calls me and he says, Darryl, I heard you have acromegaly. That's the name of this disease, acromegaly. And he says, I heard you had acromegaly. He says, do you remember the time when we were living together and I went and watched a friend of the family, a doctor friend of the family, do an operation? And I'm like, yeah. He says, he was the most prolific acromegalic surgeon ever in the world. And I remember this because Val came back to the house and he was so impressed, and he was getting his MBA at the time in college, and he said, if this had happened earlier, I would have become a doctor, because he was so impressed by this. Yeah. And now I had this thing, which is usually caused by a tumor at the
where in the brain is the tumor? Someone was asking. It's on the pituitary. Yeah,
it's a pituitary. Yeah,
Tammy called
tumor. Yeah, and so my favorite part of this whole story is this was the time I was playing guitar, and I had no money. I had spent all my money that I had made as a blackjack player, and I was
on folk music.
Well, not not on folk music. I didn't have any money when I was a folk singer though. So I was traveling around in my pickup truck. I was sleeping in my pickup truck, and I was selling CDs to buy gas money to get to the next gig. And so Val calls me and he says, "Well, Darryl, just go see George. I forget his name, but go see George, the surgeon. He'll set you up." And I'm like, Val, I can't afford to go see a doctor. And
you didn't have health insurance at that time,
right? No, you couldn't. I couldn't get health insurance until Obamacare. Obamacare rescued me and gave me health insurance.
Wow.
But anyway, so the story goes that this was well before that, though, and I said, Val, I can't do that. And Val says, well, just get insurance, and then go to the doctor. And I said, Val, I can't even afford insurance. I don't have money for insurance. And Val just says, just do it and I'll pay for it.
Wow.
And he paid for all of it.
The surgery, everything?
Everything. And he never let me pay him back. He never let me, because later I came into some money, recently, I came into some money. I tried to pay him back, and he never let me. And so
that's love. That's a friend.
Val is my Republican friend, and
we all have one.
Well, no,
Sorry.
I'm just saying. I don't say that like to criticize him. I just say that. I say that. How. Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing.
We will always be friends, of course.
Yeah. Wow. What a beautiful thing.
Good guy. Yeah.
And you went in, had surgery, and it took the problem away.
Unless we have a weekend, we're not going to hear that story, because it got so complicated and deep, and a lot of things happened. But yeah, I had such an odd version of it. Like they said, oh yeah, you have acromegaly. They took the blood test. Oh yeah, you have acromegaly. And then they took an MRI of my head and said, oh, you don't have a tumor. We've never seen that before. And so they threw me back and forth between all the most famous endocrinologists in well-known endocrinologists in the United States. I went to all these places, to Stanford and Cedars and Boston hospitals, and they just threw me around. And finally, they did a surgery, and it took some years, but
I visited you in the hospital.
that's right, for that
Yeah.
surgery.
Yeah.
So that was 2007, I'm going to guess. I think that was 2007.
At Stanford, right?
Yeah, at Stanford.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Thanks for coming by. I'm imagining you were touring.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I didn't fly out to say hello, but I was in the.
Right.
I'm like,
you probably played the Freight that night.
Probably, yeah, the Freight and Salvage in Berkeley, and then just buzzed on over to. And hey, we have a lot of folks throwing love in the tip jar here. I just want to say thank you to Dana and Don and Jeff and Andrew and Laurel Lane. Thank you guys for the support tonight.
I see a few of these, and I see my daughter complimenting my shirt, which she helped me buy.
It's
a rose shirt for the Rose City.
It's so oh, those are roses.
Those are roses, yeah.
Awesome.
What'd you think they were?
I just saw red. I couldn't quite tell, but it's a beautiful shirt, and you have a beautiful daughter, and I'm glad she's listening in. And why don't you do one more song, and then we'll say goodnight.
All right. Thank you. And
All right.
I'll do this song I wrote with Paul Zollo, because I don't think I've played 4 songs in the last 10 years and not played a Paul Zollo song. So I feel like this is a new song. And Ryan Hommel is working on this track as well in the middle of it. And Griff, the drummer for Dawes, is playing on it. And that's exciting. It's always exciting to have a rock star on your project, you know, and who happens to be a really nice guy, by the way. But this is a song that Paul was inspired to write this lyric from a biography of Johnny Cash that he read, and it was so it's Johnny Cash late in his life, and it's called "The Song of Crows." Every day I yearn for you as I survey these hills and burn for you like lightning burns this handful of pills. If I could find my 44, I'd bust out of this town just to meet you in El Paso, love, before the sun goes down. You know, I've always kept a real close watch on this old heart of mine, but my first kiss upon your lips was sweet as any wine. You kept singing crazy, just like Patsy Cline, and you know I loved you then and there as I walked the line. Sometimes I disappear into fields of golden rod, where the hallelujah wind blows. Sometimes I think I hear the voice of God in the song of crows. Last night I had the sweetest dream of you in angel wings, and all the kids were still just kids back home in Casita Springs. My old voice was young and strong, with hunger and desire just to be back home where we belong, beside our ring of fire. Sometimes I disappear into fields of golden rod, where the hallelujah wind blows. Sometimes I think I hear the voice of God in the song of farmhouse sundown chickens, roosters keeping warm, the old coyotes howling all through the thunderstorm. Still I see your sweet eyes smiling through the falling rain. Deliver me from gravity to ride the midnight train. Sometimes I disappear into fields goldenrod, where the hallelujah wind blows. Sometimes I think I hear the voice of God in the song of crows. Now I'm nearing this journey's end, stuck here in the snow. This old jalape's broken down. It's time to let her go. I've been around this planet more times than I wanted to. Now I'm frozen in these bones, just dying to be with you, Jules. I'm dying to be with you. Sometimes I disappear into fields goldenrod, where the hallelujah wind blows. Sometimes I think I hear the voice of God in the song of crows. In the song of crows.
Beautiful song.
Thank
What
you.
is that line in this? Sometimes
In the Song of Crows.
In the
Sometimes
Song
I
of Crows.
disappear into fields of goldenrod, where the hallelujah wind blows. Sometimes I think I hear the voice of God in the Song of Crows.
So nice.
Paul Zollo. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a great writer, and he loves music. I love that most about him is that he loves songs and songwriters, and is a historian. And he's Paul has written some seminal books on American songwriters. And Darryl, you have like a CNN style bookshelf in the background. Yeah, songwriters on songwriting. I have that on my shelf as well.
We all do.
Yeah.
Paul Zollo.
Yeah. Hey, great. And we're getting a lot of love in the tip jar. Thank you guys, Shireen and ZZ, all you folks that are contributing tonight. Darlene, thank you. We love you, and we appreciate the support on the show. It gives me the opportunity to sit and have a conversation with some of the most interesting people in the world, and I put Darryl right at the top of the heap. We have only touched on the iceberg that is Darryl Purpose. Trust me, we'll have him back, and lots more stories on gambling, stories about family that we haven't even touched on, stories about your health and how you're doing fasting and all of that stuff as well.
Can I tell you one thing I'm really proud of?
Yeah, of course.
Tomorrow, when I wake up and have no calories and go to sleep and wake up on Sunday and eat after 36 hours, it will be officially 3 years of doing at least one time a week. So it's like 156, I guess, weeks, consecutive weeks.
Wow, 156 days where he takes 36 hours off from eating, which is do you have water? Do you have vitamins?
Once a week. Yeah, I have. I drink water and green tea and sometimes black coffee.
Yeah. Well, you're an inspiration, man. How much weight have you lost by doing all of that?
And I would also say that the fasting is not exactly connected to the weight loss. It's related, but it's not exactly. It's more of a health thing. But I don't know. You know, I touched 320.
Wow.
Yeah, back in the 90s. Yeah.
That's a lot to touch.
It's a lot. It's a lot to carry. It's a lot to carry.
Yeah, that's got to be exhausting, right?
It's unhealthy. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm so proud of you, man. And the songs that come out of you are so poetic and thoughtful. And I got to get you back. We'll take a few months off, but
anytime, man. Thank you for having me.
yeah, I love you.
I appreciate it. Love you too.
All right, we'll catch up after this. Thanks, man. And Craig says goodbye in the background there.
Bye, Craig. Nice to see you. Hey, buddy.
All right.
And Laurie. Bye, Laurie.
That's Darryl Purpose, y'all. Probably the most interesting human being on the planet in my mind. Like, what's the guy? You know the guy. The most interesting man in the world that has like some kind of alcohol commercial.
Commercial.
Yeah, they built some kind of advertising campaign around the most interesting man in the world. And he was drinking scotch or bourbon or something, but it's really Darryl Purpose, who doesn't drink that much. I'm not even sure he drinks at all. But he does occasionally go to Aruba with $40,000 in a computer and issues, which, the stories are so ridiculous. Somebody walks up to you and says, "Excuse me, I know you don't know me, but I'm a brain surgeon who specializes in a specific disease, and just looking at you, I think you have symptoms of it." And then the guy comes in and completely changes his life. It's so amazing. So very, very crazy amazing. And we have all these beautiful people in the background. Darryl, because he's a senior citizen, he doesn't know how to use Facebook. And instead of sending a Facebook post for the link for the show, he sent the link for this is me too. I'm a senior citizen as well. So
That handle does work for PayPal.
yes, that works. But what's happening is that all these people are waiting backstage who got links to the backstage part of the show. And I want to talk to them and find out who they are and what their story is. So Sandy, I know you're watching with your cat. Can you give me a thumbs up if you're cool with me bringing you on camera? All right, I'm gonna add Sandy, who's just a random Darryl Purpose fan, and we're gonna talk to her and see what the hell she's up to. Hi, Sandy. I can't hear you, unfortunately. Oh wait, yes, let me do this. I'm gonna unmute your mic. Oh, your mic isn't connected. Is there any way you can turn that mic on?
Can you now?
I can hear you. Hi.
Oh, now I can't hear you.
Oh, I'm here. I'm here. You can't hear me, huh?
I can barely hear you. Let me see.
Yeah, turn on your computer sound there.
Now,
So
now I can hear you.
all right. So where are you?
I'm in Oakland, California.
And you're a Darryl Purpose fan?
I am.
And you just got this random link from Darryl on Facebook, and you clicked it, and it brought you here backstage.
Exactly. And I've met you, actually.
You look very familiar to me.
Well, I'm the fourth chair.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow. Darryl wrote a beautiful song, for those of you who don't know, called The Fourth Chair, which is about sitting with my wife at the time at her home in Maine, and there was an open chair at the table. I'm so glad to meet you in person, because that song is my favorite Darryl Purpose song. And
Yeah, I love that song.
what a beautiful, and you must be an incredible person to warrant the muse of that fourth chair.
Well, thank you. Yeah. I mean, Darryl is still and will always be a very special person in my life.
Yeah, he's an incredible guy, incredibly interesting, and I know you probably know some of these stories that we've just touched upon, but it's pretty fascinating. There's so many more to tell, and so much. I wish we had him for a little bit longer. We have another person, Dan Deem. Dan, are you okay with me bringing you on here? Just give me a thumbs up. You cool with it? Hey, man, there you are. Dan, oh, you got a whole family there.
We got a super fan here. Super fan. Darryl super fan. Hold on.
Darryl and
This
Ella's super fan.
Hi.
Guys.
Oh, hey. Nice. Hi. Nice to see you.
How are ya?
Good. It's
you
so
too.
you guys got a backstage pass along with Sandy and Kate Kashorek to the show tonight. So I just wanted to say hi and thank you guys for tuning in. And I'm so glad you're both Darryl Purpose fans and hopefully a fan of my music. And thanks for tuning in. You guys got
Thank you.
a whole gathering there.
Kevin.
Yeah.
Nice.
My mom, she's a big fan. She's been a fan forever.
All right. And Sandy, what's the name of the cat?
This is Picasso.
Of course it is. Yeah,
Aw.
beautiful, beautiful.
Got a Picasso in the background.
Well, we're gonna do we're gonna do one more song and say goodnight, guys. Thanks for being here, and I'm gonna bring Craig up here with the bass. And Craig, you want to join me here for a song? Sandy, good night. And I'll take this this banner off. Thank you guys for all the love in the tip jar tonight. We'll make sure that Darryl gets a portion of this as well. And let me make sure I can get this off. How do I do that? Banners. There's got to be a way. There we go. All right. This is our special guest tonight. It was on the flight. Can you hit that last switch so we can see a little better? Mr. Craig Akin, who I love playing with. He's gonna be. He's like a shark. He just kind of shows up and just takes pieces out of you. He's going to be joining me on New Year's Eve in Boston with Radoslav Lorkovich, and he's going to be also playing all over the next record. And in the course of the next maybe couple days, I might be playing some of the newer songs with him. So Mr. Craig Akin, give him a round as well. Let's see here. I have a Mr. David Glaser wrote our theme song, and why don't we close with that? It's not a song you and I have done, but it's in the range of simplicity that I'm sure you will rise to the occasion.
I will do what I can.
And I will just tune this for your benefit as well. Craig was just remarking how interesting Darryl's stories are, what he's been through, and it's pretty amazing, right?
I have no idea.
We had to talk about
I just
Darryl's.
liked him because he lived in Colorado, and now it's like a whole other thing.
Yeah, he had this beautiful home, and it's true that he had one of the best views I've ever seen from any home. So we're going to end with this song. This is our theme song for the Traveling Medicine Show. I'm going to be back next Friday. I don't know who the guest is going to be because I'm going to be traveling, and there might not be a guest next Friday because I'll be going to Texas and probably will be in Arkansas or Louisiana when I broadcast the show. But keep an eye out. We'll see. We'll get this right. This is called Concrete River.
Sounds like New York right now. Sorry, too soon.
One of the coolest aspects of the new house is that we get to see a train go by every few hours. And it's rattling the house a little bit.
This was such a fun night. I think it's pretty great that Darryl gave the StreamYard link to his fans and he brought them on camera.
It is cool. It was nice to talk to them. They seem very cool. All right. Come on in here, love.
I will when the time
I wonder where you are tonight. I wonder if you're driving on a winding concrete river in a raft of glass and steel.
comes. Darkness interrupted.
By a lonely bright oasis, a full tank and a coffee, and you're back behind the wheel. Long is the road that lies between us, and many are the days since you've been gone. May the angel on your shoulder guide you safely through the night, and may the concrete river bring you home. May the concrete wonder where you are tonight. I wonder if you're laughing. I'll say my little prayer and send it out across the miles. I hope you're in a special place with people there that love you.
I hope you make it back to them
Before too long a while. How long is the road that lies between us? Many are the days since you've been gone. May the angel on your shoulder guide you safely through the night. And may the concrete river bring you home. May the concrete river bring you home.
Oh my God, beautiful.
Mr. Craig Akin, special guest from Jersey
Give
City
it up for
in the
Craig,
background.
everybody. He's the best.
He doesn't bring that thing anywhere
Look,
but here.
Cat can absolutely play that bass.
Yeah. Just anything in his paws sounds great.
Yeah.
It's been a great night, guys. Mr. Darryl Purpose, thank you so much for
Yay,
joining us.
Daryl. It was so great
Dan
to see
and
Daryl.
Sandy
He's so
and
awesome.
Kathy and all the people backstage, thanks for tuning in. And Picasso the cat, we love you.
There's
and,
Picasso. I think that he or she. No, she's waving.
You got a cat lady here if you ever want to visit. All right, cheers, guys. Good night, y'all. We'll see you next week. I'll be on the road somewhere, probably in Louisiana when we broadcast. And it's just, well, I don't know what the guest situation will be. Maybe Laurie can join me from here. We'll figure it out. Sending love to you guys. Cheers.